Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. I got my new camera lens. Look at this thing. It makes the camera look a little bit ridiculous because of this giant lens hood. But this is the Canon EFM 32mm f1.4 lens. And I am super excited about this lens, particularly because next week I will be, I don't want to announce this loudly, but next week I will be at Gen Con. And I'm really excited to go, and I'm also really excited about photographing games. If you've been following me on Twitter, I've been publishing semi-regular pictures of games that have all been taken with my EOS M50 Mark II. This is the second EFM camera I have. You guys are currently inside an EOS M3. Or EOS M3, which was the third M camera, mirrorless camera that Canon came out with. I think the second in the US, but the third body that they did. And I bought that camera specifically for this, for doing the show, for doing workshop videos. I bought it because it's mirrorless, and I didn't want a mirrored camera for doing this. I wanted screens and stuff. I like having real-time exposure values, that sort of thing. Which I can see right now I have the exposure cranked for some reason. I must have hit the dial. Usually it's darker than this. Whatever. So I bought that camera for this, and the EOS M series is like an entry-level camera. I think that one was $500. This one was a little bit more because it came with two lenses. It came with the kit lens, and it came with a 50 to 200 millimeter zoom lens. But this is still Canon's like super entry-level photographer style camera, not really made for professional photography, but I disagree. I think it works really, really well for game photography because of its small size, its small stature. It's really easy to get it in places, especially in a busy gaming center where I can't, like, you know, I'm not carrying around a giant heavy camera and jamming it into, you know, I don't need a battery grip and all other stuff. I can just carry a really lightweight, simple camera that I can pull out in the middle of whatever, take shots. Not to say you can't do it with like full-size, full-frame camera, but I think this one works really, really well for that. And so this lens I'm really excited about because I have been using a 22 millimeter, which is really nice, but I have to get really close. It doesn't have a great focal distance, and in order to get it, because it's so wide, I have to get really close. This is 50 millimeter equivalent, 51 millimeter equivalent, if you know full frame cameras, which means that I can stand back a good ways and get a nice, slight, zoomed in shot with that beautiful blurry background and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, all of that is to say, I'm sorry I'm camera nerding on you. I got my new lens. It looks ridiculous with this lens hood, but lens hoods are super, super necessary, especially inside the convention center. I am going to be, I don't like announcing this, you guys know that, but next week will be Gen Con. Most of you know I will be there. And I am offering to take pictures of anything you want me to take pictures of while I am in Indianapolis. For one, there's only a few games on my list that I'm looking for. I want to see Village Trains or Train, I forget what it's from Osprey. I want to see the War of the Ring, the card game. And I want to see some other game. So I don't really have a whole lot on my plate, on my list of things to do while I'm traveling around the hall. And I am offering my services as a photographer to shoot pictures of whatever it is you're interested in. If you tell me what game it is, what booth it is, if you want to see something from the hall, from the outside the convention center, whatever, let me know. I'm going to put together a shooting list of things people want to see, and I'll try to get some good pictures. I've really been enjoying that process, and I want to keep it going, and so I'm really excited to have this. By the way, I bought that lens through the academic studies that I've been doing. I told you about months ago. I was able to save up about $400 worth of money from that. This lens was $480. Lens hood was it was a little over, I think, $600 all in. I bought a new strap and stuff to go with it. But I had about $400 of that from the academic study stuff, so that's been going great. And yeah, I'm excited to take some pictures. I'm still debating on whether I'm going to do shows next week. Traditionally, in the past, I have taken Gen Con week off, but I've also been enjoying doing the pre-recorded episodes. So I might just do pre-recorded episodes for next week. I think I like not having a break. I think I'm talking myself into that right now in front of you because, I hadn't really thought about it a whole lot until this point in time. We do have today's shallow thoughts from Chris. So I should say shallow thoughts from Chris. Here's what he has to say today.
Hey friend, how are you? On today's episode of Shallow Thoughts with Chris, gotta be neat theme music. We're 7 days out from Gen Con. Everything's gonna be game related now till then. So question, EuroTrash versus Ameritrash. Which camp do you fall in? And do you ever foresee a time when both sides can come together and live in peace and harmony and respect each other? Until next time.
7 days? I leave on Tuesday. It's only a few days away from me. EuroTrash versus Ameritrash. Which side do I land on? Probably EuroTrash. I think I lean towards more meatier, thinkier things than most what we would typically call Ameritrash games offer. Do I ever see those two sides coming together? No, not really. I think that there's going to be people who it's going to be one of those things that people constantly argue about. But I do think the line has blurred quite a bit from the old days. I would consider my favorite of all time Ameritrash game would be Talisman. Absolutely ridiculous game that takes way too long and then nothing much happens, but you roll some dice and move around a board. But I love it. It's just ridiculous. I've had some really fun play sessions playing that game. I don't know that any Euro player would ever enjoy that game. But I think there are games nowadays when you look at something like... what's the... Last Night on Earth, that series, those are very Ameritrash games with more gamer themes to them, or more gamer mechanisms involved. And so I think that there is a more blurred distinction between those two now. When you look at the Brazil game that's coming from Portal, it is a 4X game, but it's really a Euro game that's disguised as a 4X game. So it has... I think there's more of that going on between the two, between Euro and Ameritrash, that I don't necessarily think that, there's... I don't know. I mean, look at Everdell. I think it's both, right? I've never played it, but I think both camps like that game. What are you? Ameritrash, Euro game, EuroTrash? You let me know in the comments. And let me know if you want me to take pictures of something next week. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is mot juste. It's a noun meaning the perfect word or phrase to communicate precisely what you mean to say. Years of elocution lessons have left Paulina capable of leaving every occasion with suitable mot juste. Mot juste. M-O-T-J-U-S-T-E. The perfect word or phrase. Mot juste is not one. Dumb.